Hey, nobody has to tell you, but it has been a long, often painful journey. But starting tomorrow, California is reopening and almost all pandemic restrictions are going away.
Yeah, last week, San Francisco's Mayor London Breed announced that her city will be aligning with the state, saying San Francisco will be fully reopened. With us now live is Mayor Breed. Thank you for your time tonight, Mayor. Certainly a monumental day tomorrow. It has been tough for all of us in varying ways. And there's still some issues with Cal OSHA and workplace masking. When can we expect you to walk into City Hall without a mask like old times?
Well, I didn't realize we couldn't. I'm just kidding. But the fact is, our governor basically said that he may put out an executive order to move forward sooner rather than later, because Cal OSHA hasn't made that decision just yet. But ultimately, we're following the state guidelines. So tomorrow is going to be a great day for our city. We should be really proud of everything that we've done to get here. About 80% of San Franciscans have been vaccinated. We're in a good place. And we're going to be lifting those color tiered systems so that we can celebrate those color systems during Pride like we normally do. So we're in a really good place, and I'm excited about the future for this city. It's so amazing what the people of San Francisco did, and I'm so proud.
So if I can harken back a year or so ago, San Francisco was one of the first cities to shut down, tight as a drum. You were certainly handling this in a very firm and proactive way. You did get some pushback on this. Has the tune changed? Are people now giving you the high five because of the herd immunity?
Yeah, I'm getting so much love in this city from so many people who have said, I mean, this man, I almost started crying because he looked me in the eye and he said, I really believe what you did saved my life. And he said, no, I mean this. And I just got emotional. People were so grateful that I did take that action. And yes, we've had some challenges. We've had some challenges with our economy and with others who were not necessarily following the health directives. But when you think about it, San Francisco is one of the densest cities in the country, with one of the lowest death rates, with one of the lowest infection rates, and one of the highest vaccination rates. I mean, this city is incredible. So it was definitely worth it. And that's what you do as a mayor. You make the hard decisions, but you do what is in the best interest of the people you serve. And I did what I thought was best to save lives.
Folks here have definitely embraced the vaccine, which is not the case in other parts of the country. We have the lowest death rate of any city in the country, and San Francisco certainly can be proud of that. When you look back and take a step back, what might you have done differently with the benefit of this perspective now, be it with in-person schooling or what have you?
Well, that was a bit of a challenge, in-person schooling. I mean, I did exactly what I felt that was important to do, and that is when we were given the support from our healthcare professionals who have been extremely conservative in the decisions that we've made here in San Francisco, when they gave us the go-ahead to open up schools, you know, I wish that we would have seen schools opening up, not just here in San Francisco, but all over the state. It, of course, continues to be a challenge. People are uncertain about the fall. We have received assurance from the superintendent that the schools will be open this fall. A lot of questions I know still remain from parents, and I'm hoping that we can help to get the answers that they need. But in the meantime, we launched Summer Together, where we are serving 26,000 students this summer with activities, helping them address the challenges with distance learning and the learning loss that happened over the past year with programs. I was just at Stripe, and we're using 3 floors of their office space for our kids. Kids will be all over the city doing some amazing things, and hopefully bonding and coming together and really getting ready for this fall. So I'm super excited about that.
Mayor, we did hit a rough patch with the restaurants. A lot of people in the hospitality industry really suffering body blows, you know, during the pandemic. Do you have any, again, through the rearview mirror, would you have handled the outdoor dining situation differently, perhaps opened it up, kept that open longer? And are these restaurants coming back? We've lost quite a few.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the things that I'm most glad that came out of this pandemic is the outdoor dining experience. When I served as a supervisor, it was so hard to get one of these parklets open for any business. And as a result of this pandemic, they're everywhere. And I love them and I'm excited to see them stay. So we have to make sure that we have the appropriate regulations in place. You know how the city is with its bureaucracy. Ultimately, though, they're here to stay. We're going to work with businesses to make sure that's the case. We know that many businesses would not have been able to survive had it not been for these outdoor dining experiences. Overall, San Francisco, with the resources that we've gotten from the federal and the state government and resources from our budget, we've invested close to $1 billion to support small businesses all over San Francisco, especially those businesses that could not open, like nightlife and gyms and other locations that had no other way to generate revenue during this closure. So compared to other cities, we've done a really great job. Could we have done more? Of course. The resources weren't completely there, but what we had, we invested in order to protect as many businesses as we could.
Yeah, the parklets are for sure a bright spot. Also, you know, the booze to go, is that going to stay? We know why there were laws against that before.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the governor's supporting it and did a level of support, and Senator Scott Wiener is working on making it permanent. So it looks like it's here to stay. I was, you know, really excited and surprised by it as well. They come in these really cute containers, but we also want to make sure, you know, kids aren't ordering these drinks as well. Like, there's a balance here. So looks like they are here to stay, but we want people to still drink responsibly.
I know you have these crisis response teams that are responding to nonviolent 911 calls, trying to keep police out of the mix when possible, and you have initiatives to, you know, clean up parts of the city that don't look so nice and don't have, you know, they have drug problems and whatever, and the homeless issue is well documented and it still persists. You're trying to get people to come back now. We're reopening. You want tourists to come and spend money, but you had some businesses, Oracle, you know, leaving before the pandemic even started. So how do you make San Francisco as attractive a place as possible when there are still real hurdles out there right now?
Well, right now we're focusing a lot of attention and support on our mid-market recovery plan. We do know that when this pandemic hit, we saw tents and we saw a number of other challenges that have existed in the city for far too long. And we took immediate action and have really done, I think, an incredible job of getting us to a place where we have less tents than we've had in a very, very long time. And that equals services and support for so many of those people who were living on the streets. But of course, we have to do more. We have to make sure people feel safe. We have to clean up the city. We have to make sure the resources are invested in the locations that are most problematic so that people who, not just the visitors and the tourists, but the people, the kids, the elderly people who live in these communities feel safe. So far, I'm getting some great feedback from a lot of the folks who live in the mid-market area. We're going to keep at it. We have not just police officers who are in that area. We also have a number of neighborhood organizations. We have, as you said, the street crisis response team, a paramedic, a clinician, a peer support, folks who are doing wraparound supportive services so that when folks call 911 and someone is having a bit of a challenge that isn't necessarily in need of a police response, then we're there to deal with it, not push it from one street to the next. We need to make sure we're dealing with these problems head on.
Mayor London Breed, we need to wrap. We would love to talk. There are a plethora of issues that we would love to talk to you about. Hopefully next time, now that we don't have to wear the mask, we can actually get you inside the studio.
Come on.
Why not? That'll be fun. I miss hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, you have an open invitation. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mayor
Mayor.
London Breed, San Francisco's mayor.
All right.
Thanks for speaking with us.
Yeah, exciting time, not only here in San Francisco, but throughout the whole state.